Hello, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to another match reaction show. It's finished. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 4. London is red, but more importantly, I think Arsenal have taken a big leap into that top four, race and really, moved ahead in that top four race. Because as much as people might say, well, Spurs are still in it, I think this was a game that many did not expect Arsenal to get anything from, and the fact that they've got 3 points from it really puts them in a very good position, very strong position as well. And this happens quite often. I mean, last season as well, Arsenal beat Chelsea, and again they've done that this season. So there's something about playing Chelsea at Stamford Bridge that tends to bring out the best in Arsenal. But it was an entertaining game, though. At least the first half was very entertaining. 2-2 at the end of the first half. I mean, the goals, a lot of them were sloppy. I think the first one, definitely a lot of sloppiness there from Christensen. His mind is already on being in Barcelona. Maybe that's where his mind is. But it was a very bad error there. Nketiah steals in, scores the goal. And then of course Arsenal, wouldn't be Arsenal. There wasn't a couple of errors from them as well. I thought that goal for Werner, the first one, very lucky. There was a couple of deflections there. I think Ramsdale probably could have saved it. Probably should have saved it, but he didn't. And then, of course, the second goal that Arsenal scored, again, really bad defending, letting, Alonso, I thought, was probably the worst defender on the pitch after Christensen. I think Christensen and Alonso probably were battling it out for who was worse. They get nutmegged, on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. They launch a solid counter-attack, and it goes, and Emil Smith-Rowe scores a wonderful goal. Well placed. And I'll talk about that. That goal leads me to another point, which I'll come back to later, of course, when we do the individual assessments. But there was a good finish from Emil Smith-Rowe. And then Chelsea hit back again. And I thought maybe that might have been a foul. I think on White, maybe. But referee didn't seem to think so. I think that's, whatever. But it was a good finish from Espelicueta, though. It was a really good finish from him. And after that, second half, I just don't know what happened. Chelsea just couldn't get going. They just looked flat. They looked a little bit devoid of ideas. I don't know what it was. The goal that Nketiah scored, again, very lucky, sloppy from Chelsea, giving the ball away. Thiago Silva wins it. Sarr kind of plays it back into play. Then Kante does something with it, and then comes back again. It was just a whole comedy of errors in that one. And Nketiah kind of stole and scored that goal. Another it was a good finish. I thought it was a good finish as well. After that, then the fourth goal, was that a penalty? I don't know. I mean, it's 50-50. I think it's one of those that if the ref hadn't given it as a penalty, I don't think we would have overturned it. And that is one of those, because there was a bit of tugging and shoving from both sides. I know Chelsea fans might say that that's not a penalty. I am not sure. But it's one of those, I think, where I didn't see enough for it to be overturned. But I also didn't see enough for it where if it hadn't been given for it to be overturned. So it's one of those where it's a referee's judgment. And, that's just the way it goes sometimes with these things. But at the end of the day, I don't think it will change the result. I think Arsenal will full value for their win. They really played very well. It was fantastic. What I do think, though, whether they qualify for top four or not, Arsenal have two real proper players in Smith-Rowe and Saka. I think that is where the future for Arsenal will be. And of course, you could add Gabriel Martinelli in that as well. That's a front trident behind the striker, unless they decide that Martinelli should be a striker. But if they do decide that he's not a striker, then they've got a front trident, the three there, that is very good. Of course, you could add ODegaard in there as well, and you've got four really class players who could blossom into class players. So they've got the Arsenal very good stead. Even if they don't make it top four this season, even Spurs do qualify for top four, I think Arsenal are very good stead for next season. Just a couple of additions needed, maybe flesh out the squad a little bit more, but they're in a good position for next season either way. But I do believe that in Smith-Rowe and Saka, they've got two very good players, so they could build the team around. Probably get like a striker who can kind of work with them. And then you've got something very special there at Arsenal. So that's something that I do believe. I thought Ramsdale was a little bit shaky. I thought Holding looked really bad in that first half. I think probably the worst player from Arsenal's point of view in that first half. He looked very shaky. But he grew into the game. I think just was match rustiness. He hadn't played a lot, so for him to come back was good. Tavares just looked, I don't know what was going on in his mind. Some of those shots were outrageous that he was taking. And maybe that's something for him as well, to work on his composure, his calmness. That's something I think that he needs to think about. Chelsea's point of view looked very flat, and I don't know what it was. It's probably the fact that they've got a big FA Cup game. They're conserving energy for that. They're not really in trouble for that Champions League spots, no matter what Tuchel says. But there are issues that need to be ironed out before the FA Cup final, because on the evidence of this game, Liverpool are going to have it easy against Chelsea. So there's a lot of that they will need to do and fix going into that game. Again, Alonso, I thought looked really bad. I don't know how he stayed on the pitch as long as he did, but he looked really poor. Christensen, thankfully, was taken off halftime. He looked pretty bad as well. Mendy, for me, now that's where I talked about the second goal and even the third goal. Mendy of last season or Mendy pre-AFCON would have saved those. I definitely would have saved those. There's just something that is lacking in his game, and I don't know what it is, whether it's confidence, whether it's tiredness, fatigue, but he hasn't been the same player since AFCON. He really hasn't, and I don't know whether going to AFCON and coming back, those whole trips and the bubbles there kind of take a toll on a player, and I don't know whether that's what's happened to him, but there's something there that's not right, and maybe it's time to give Kepa a game or two. Just give him a bit of break. Maybe he needs that. I don't know, but there's something that's wrong. That's not quite clicking. I thought Kante had again an average game poor by his standards, but an average game. Otherwise, and there's problems with that midfield again. They need to fix that next season. Going to next season, they definitely need to fix that because I do think Arsenal dominated that midfield, which shouldn't really happen against Chelsea. And otherwise, I mean, Lukaku looked bad again, off pace. Probably, probably the worst signing of the season, maybe. I can't think of too many others, so probably is the worst signing of the season. So, that's what there is. Will he get another start this season? I don't know, probably not. Werner looked a little bit, scored his goal, but then looked a little bit off color at other times. So it was just a Chelsea game it was just a Chelsea performance that didn't click. And hopefully they'll be thinking, well, it's good it's happened now as opposed to happening in the FA Cup final, and they've got some time to kind of iron those kinks out. But it's a big result for Arsenal. Massive result for Arsenal. Much needed as well. They've now got a lot of momentum going into those two. They've got two big games coming up against United and then Spurs. If they win those two, the fact that they now won against Chelsea means they don't need to win both. If they can win one and draw the other, 4 points from here, I think Arsenal are home and dry after that. So if they can get 4 points from those two games, I think they will be high and dry, and they will definitely get 3 against United. So it's a matter of how they can perform against Spurs, but they put themselves in a good position for those two games. So that's there. I mean, it's finished, as I said, Chelsea to Arsenal. 4 big step for Arsenal. And congratulations to all Arsenal fans. Congratulations to Chelsea, but they've got bigger things to worry about for now. But let me know in the comments, what did you think of the game? What do you think of this result? Do you think Arsenal are now virtual favorites for the top 4 spots? Let me know. I'd love to hear your comments. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, or like us on Facebook actually, and you can also follow us on Instagram. So stay tuned for that, and we'll of course have more shows coming up for you. So we appreciate your support. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.